The next thing to do is to go into code. There's only a few settings in code. For now we'll bypass this one, CH. I'll go back to that later. So we'll just press enter to bypass. This one here is called luminaire saving. It's not L50, it's LS0. It's similar to L0 when it's set to 50. And it's a bit confusing. But LS0 or LS1, that means luminaire saving on, off, and luminaire saving on. This is a completely useless parameter and has probably never been used. It's to swap round channel 1 and channel 2, where you would have lighting on channel 1 and lighting on channel 2, and you swap them round. It would do a daily swap at some point in time. I think it's 12 o'clock or something, and it just swaps the programming round. So one set would be on one day, one set would be on another day. I've never seen, and I doubt it's ever been installed, where you've got lights, two sets of lights, one on one day, one on the other day in the same area. So this is completely useless. Just make sure this is always set to 0. Luminaire saving 0. Its default is 0, so just go straight through it. So here we have the next two. This is A0, advanced 0. Now it's a bit confusing to a lot of time switches. Solar time switches express themselves differently. What this really means is early on, so that when the solar comes on at sunset, this gives you an advance, and it goes up to 60 minutes. It doesn't go back, it will only advance 60 minutes. So this is sunset, advance up to 60 minutes in 15-minute intervals, and it's just to turn the time switch on earlier than it normally would do. The 0 is the default setting. Normally you would use the default setting externally, and you would use an advanced setting internally, where as it's getting darker outside it may still be light, but inside it may be getting darker a little bit earlier than it would do outside, so it compensates for that. This is late off. This is the same thing at sunrise. When it's about to switch off, you can set this again in increments of 15 minutes up to an hour later, so it goes off up to an hour later than it otherwise normally would have gone off. Again, mainly for use internally or externally under a more shaded area doesn't have direct daylight. Okay, this is daylight saving, not D51. Daylight saving. The options are 0 for daylight saving off. This is changing from Greenwich Mean Time to British Summer Time. Daylight saving off. Daylight saving on, European. The others are for other, well, there's only two others. I think one is for Canada, USA, etc. This is for GB or Euro. This is probably GB, the newer ones are Euro. And the daylight saving changes the time that's displayed. What it doesn't do is it doesn't affect the solar time, because the solar time is dependent on Greenwich Mean Time and internally it stays at Greenwich Mean Time. Daylight saving only displays the actual display clock differently, but it doesn't make any difference at all to the sunrise, sunset, on and off times, as they gradually increase and decrease through the year. So that's set, DS set to 1, which means it will change to British Summer Time and Greenwich Mean Time. And it cycles back round, so you just go round again. And to set that, you switch back to auto. It will recalibrate, and that's that one.